next up, can we have Pam Goodwin? We are so happy that you are here.
Thank you for the invite.
My favorite story you're going to start with.
Oh, good. What is that?
Your red heels. Well, first of all, tell everyone what you do. So she's from Texas, Pam Goodwin. Tell them what you do.
I have to tell you something. I had a flashback this morning when you mentioned being a tomboy.
Yeah.
I tried out for the boys' baseball team at St. Mary's Catholic School in Bellevue, Nebraska.
What did the nuns say about that?
Oh my gosh, those nuns. We have that Catholic guilt, don't we?
Yeah, we do.
Anyways, I made the team.
Oh!
Which I think really prepared me for commercial real estate.
Yes.
Playing with the boys at that time. But I'm based in Dallas, and we specialize in single tenant net lease development.
What does that mean for the people in the room that have no idea what you just said?
So if you've ever been to, eating at Chick-fil-A with your kids, Starbucks, and you're like, who the hell owns this? And it's me and you, and everyone in this room can own one, or like Karen, who has a lot of them, 1,400.
Yeah.
And so I started with...
And Aaron, who owns 70.
Oh gosh, that's great. But I thought I kind of have squirrel ideas, if anybody knows what that is. I see something and I think, I want to open a restaurant.
So tell them who you worked for. What was it in the 80s, 90s? Who you worked for?
Well,
Brinker. Do you guys know who Brinker is?
Right. So I thought I wanted to open a restaurant. And then I went to go work for, I always believe in working for the best company out there. And so I went to go work for Brinker International, who's based in Dallas, and at the time owns 7 restaurants, and I was on the Chili's account. But I found out very quickly I did not want to operate a restaurant. I wanted to own the real estate.
Woo! That deal that I talked about, Aaron Zucker, the first deal I did with him is On the Border in Dallas.
And do you still own it?
We do. We still own it. There's a long story. I'll tell you guys later. Okay.
And so I found out these landlords, if they had a 10-year Chili's ground lease, they could profit anywhere from, $500,000 to $1 million on one deal.
Better than a leasing fee.
That's right. Better than a brokerage fee of $50,000, $75,000. And so I went to go find a mentor. I think I was like 40 years old at the time. And that finding the right mentor changed my life and my career.
Absolutely, as mine did too. My guy signed a $50,000 note for me. Can you imagine? Can you imagine?
Yeah.
I had him on stage last year. I said, what were you thinking? Look, because for so many years, it's just been second place that he did this, but 6 years of doing this and telling that story, people's mouths dropped. I thought it was okay, everyone does this, right? Nobody does this. So last year on our 5th anniversary, I said, you need to come and tell why you did this. Like they're not here without you. So he was the second guy that I had on stage. And he got teary-eyed, you guys remember? Yeah. It was great, it was awesome.
Yeah, so his name is Jimmy Kristen, based in Dallas, Texas, and he was one of the landlords on the Chili's, and he was probably 75. He turns 90 this year, and we still meet every 6 months for lunch. And he never wanted, I had a 6-figure income at Chili's, and all the free food, and I gave that up because And you
lost a lot of weight.
Well, I gained weight lately, but that's that's the 15-pound Brinker thing that they talk about. But I met with him, I met with several landlords to see if they would help me start my own company, and that we just celebrated 20 years in February having our own company.
So you find a deal and you go, tell us about the group that you are part of in Dallas.
It's called Deals and Heels, and we're...
You love that? And when you went and said, hey, ladies, I have a deal, you should all invest, they all signed up, right?
No, none of them.
None of them.
None of them. Well, let me take that back. Because I found my first deal, and I had a good relationship with Chili's, and so, ended up finding a location for them. But I presented it to the group, and how you talked about presenting, I put it together, the business plan on what I thought the profit would make, and everyone turned it down. And so I started thinking, they've got to be smarter than me, right? They have to know what they're doing, and all that instinct. So when you talked about your 7 deals, it took one deal like that I didn't listen to them. And then,
thank God, you're smarter than me.
But I had one person in that entire group, and we're still business partners on every deal, but she didn't even ask me what the deal. She's like, I don't need to see anything. I trust you. How much do I owe? What do I need to do? Send me the paperwork. She's a big director of real estate for all these big companies around the country. And we've been business partners ever since. And that was the skill base. We have completely different skill base. I'm more project management, construction, design. I'm the opposite. I'm the one who hated math in school, except I do know how to, know what my profits are. They should have taught that in school, right?
Yes.
Instead of that algebra, I'm still having nightmares.
Or trigonometry.
Right.
How stupid. Yeah.
I'm still, I just saw that on LinkedIn. What is the one thing, I can see I'm going off on a squirrel.
So, okay. How did you called Chili's, you said, I want to go build for you or develop for you. They said, great, go to this market in Texas and find a site, right? So you went to Texas. How fast did it take you to find a site that they approved? Like, did you have to show them a lot of sites, or did you find the one and they approved it right away?
Like you talk about, I had that inside information, in which you talk about a lot of people don't use that. Sometimes the deal is right in front of your face and you're looking way out there and it's in front of your face. But it took maybe a couple months. I knew they wanted to go to Copperas Cove, Texas, about 3 hours south. Most people in Dallas, they can't drive north of 635. It's kind of a joke, but the ones that live up north. So, I always found the big opportunities were in the small markets, like 1 hour, 2 hours away. And that's when Chili's was developing about 150 new restaurants a year.
Wow.
And we found them the site, negotiating a letter of intent, and then they decided to put a halt on everything. But we put the property under contract for like $5,000. That's all it took.
The deposit.
The deposit.
And back then, unlike today, I bet you had a long due diligence period, like to go get a tenant. Like that doesn't happen today, but do you remember what the due diligence period was?
That's why I like working in the small markets, because the sellers will let you put the property under contract for a lot longer. So yeah. We did have it on a lot longer. We did not do the Chili's deal, and we ended up flipping it to Discount Tires.
And what was the profit?
$168,000.
Woo! And
that wasn't too bad on the first deal. I mean, that was, that beat my salary, and then I was completely hooked on doing these deals.
Was it just you and your friend that was partners, or was the mentor guy in?
The mentor, we were mentors for, he was my business partner for 4 years.
So it was you and him and the woman, or
no? Just the two of us.
Okay. So now you're hooked, then what happens?
Then I'm hooked, and we decided to think a lot bigger.
What?
And Walgreens, Jimmy was a build-a-suit partner, a build-a-suit for Walgreens, and Walgreens wanted a corner in Tyler, Texas. And the two things that you have to have in this business are patience and persistence. And sometimes they call me, Persistent Pam, because I can be a pain. But Walgreens wanted this corner, and the dad was always out of the country, who owned the motel. And anyways, I would be in my car across the street at the Sonic, manifesting that I was going to do that Walgreens.
And
We bought the 5 acres. We ended up doing a Walgreens, Chase, and McDonald's.
How'd you connect with the guy finally?
I went to go visit him every other week for about 2 years. By time, it took that long, but that one profited, which I love money, and I love talking about money, so.
Woo! We do too.
That one, we had 4 partners on it, and that was like $1 million profit for each partner on that deal.
And you were really hooked.
Then I was really hooked.
What's another, so how many triple net developments have you done in your career, do you know?
Probably about 50.
Which is amazing for a woman, right?
In the last 20 years. I probably should do more, but I like to travel, so.
Yeah.
With my family.
Do you always have partners?
I've had partners on all of them, and except for one. My husband and I bought a small office. So in my breakout, I will teach you, because everybody's always like, Pam, that's great, but I have no money. Well, I didn't have any money either on these development deals, so I'm going to show you how to, because you were going to ask me my breakout.
Yes, I was going to get there.
How to find and fund and close these deals. And I know some of the people talk to me, as you talk to women, they want to get into that first deal. And these single tenant properties, they say, are like riding a tricycle. It's a great way to start investing.
So did you not put any money in your first deal?
I haven't put any money in any of my deals.
I hate that. I'm happy for you, but I hate that. This is not the real world.
I am what you call the sweat equity.
Okay, so tell us how that deal works. Who puts in the money, how much money, and what do you get for sweat equity?
Well, you have to come to my breakout tomorrow. I mean, today. No.
Give us a tease.
Usually we put anywhere down, I put anywhere down from $500 to $10,000 on a piece of property. And then usually the person I bring in, the financial partner, I've only had a couple. Terry, my main business partner, her and I, she does a lot of the financial part. And one deal that we did, which we almost turned down because I was thinking, it was too expensive, it was too pricey. My husband even said, Pam, you'll never get that kind of rent in Tyler, Texas. And he was right, I got a lot more.
Woo! That's awesome.
But like on that deal, Terry owned 2 duplexes. So the ones that own residential who want to get into commercial, we used her duplexes, and we took out a $1.65 million loan. It's so funny, I don't even know what I had for breakfast yet, this morning, but I can remember the numbers.
Absolutely.
And I went to a local bank, and they loaned us because they knew the property was, really, really good. And they just put her duplexes as the equity. Neither of us put any money down.
Wow. So you didn't sell them? You just put like a loan on the units?
Right.
Use the money that you financed the duplexes that did not have a loan. So you put a loan on them, had that cash, and used it to buy the lot, or the 5 acres.
Right. We took out a loan, and to this day we both have seller remorse.
Oh yeah.
On selling those 2 properties. We ended up turning one into a mattress firm. And then the other one was an existing title company. And we flipped both of them to 2 separate buyers at low cap rates.
So you 2 were the only partners in that deal? And so what was your split? Was it 50-50 or 50-50?
50-50.
A lot of creative financing.
And so after the women's group that I belong to, which I love, after we did that deal and they found out what we made and closed on, now everybody wants to be your partner, right?
So I have a similar story. I leave my firm. I'm going to go do this on my own because it's so easy. I had found a property, 1.2 acres. And when I was with my former partner, I went to him and I said, we should buy this property, 1.77 acres. He said, oh, it's too small for us. So then fast forward 6 months later, I leave the company, I'm driving by the property and there's still a for sale sign on it. So I call on the for sale sign and they say it's available, $1.2 million, piece of land. Next door, we had done an Applebee's deal as a third-party leasing broker for, I think it was 3/4 of an acre for $1.4 million. So I knew 1.2 for 177 was a phenomenal deal. So I said, okay, here's my first deal. So I bring my 3 besties to a Cuban restaurant. The window looked onto the lot of the property. And it's a dump Cuban restaurant. And my 3 besties I bring them, and the one that passed away, Ivy, who had done a bunch of Walgreens work, and then Melody, who had done Toys R Us. Like, they are in the business, right? And they go, why are we here? I go, look out that window. And they said, yeah. I go, we're going to buy that. And they're like, no, we're not. I go, no, we're going to buy it. And they're like, we're not. And one said, I don't have any money. The other one said, oh, I've got a wedding coming up. They had all these excuses. I said, well, screw y'all, because I'm going to go buy it. And it was 1.2, so I thought, I'm going to get 10 of my friends to give me $100,000, and we're going to take this down, and we're going to do 2 ground leases, because, so I go out and raise $500,000 or $600,000 from people in the industry, and the minute they had said yes, my 3 girlfriends decided, oh, well, we'll go in that deal. We ended up making 299% on our money in less than 2 years. We ended up doing a Walgreens ground lease, and then the Walgreens fee developer called and says, I really want to buy that deal. And I'm like, I called one of my partners. I said, we don't want to sell a Walgreens ground lease, right? And they're like, for the right price, we will. And then we ended up selling it. But yes, it was the same thing. 3 besties in the business couldn't see it. And then when this guy, and this guy say, yeah, we'll give you $100,000, they didn't even act like, oh, that's a location. Okay, this is the plan. And then they came in. So, but this is why we have this. Right? Is this amazing?
This is so amazing. I cannot believe I missed the last 5. Where have I been?
I was in the sponsor room and I heard, it was either that, or no, it might have been last night. Someone was like, and then we created an LLC. And like, there's like business going on, investments going on. Okay, so tell everyone what you're doing now. You have a deal.
I have a deal. I currently have 6 acres in a small town called Bonham, Texas, in which the property, I went to go visit the local economic development director because they know all the property available for sale. And they had 6 acres, prime property on retail, so we have that under contract. Looking for some retailers on that property.
And you would also be interested in selling it?
Because,
I don't know, Texas, we've got some Texas people in here. So if you guys are interested, see Pam.
But it took me a long time to learn this, just recently, about collaboration, because I'm one of those people too that did way too much on my own and scaling. But just a few years ago, I learned more about collaboration. And so I'm hoping one of my next investors, partners are in this room. I see you, all of you.
Absolutely.
So we need help on that. And I mean, my goal, like yours, Beth, I've been on a mission too of really, really genuinely trying to help women invest in commercial real estate. And so if I can help, in any way, that's why I'm so thankful that, you're doing all this. And this is a completely unique conference because there's so many of them to go to in your valuable time. So
Absolutely.
Thank you.
So can we talk about something personal for a second?
Sure.
So you had some health issues. Can you share that story in your non-for-profit?
Sure. Just went to annual mammogram in 2019 and found out that I had stage 1 breast cancer. And that completely changed my life. I remember going out on my front porch, and it was like the Wizard of Oz, changing from black and white to color. And it really taught me to have less anxiety, to live in the present, not wait until tomorrow, and do what you want to do. You know, do exactly what you want to do. Take the trip, go to the conference.
Drink the wine.
Drink the wine. Buy the shoes, buy the bag, you know, go do.
Well, wait. We got to buy the purse. Don't spend money on purse.
Oh, no,
buy
I don't.
properties.
Right.
Use the cash flow of the properties to buy the purse.
That's right.
Yeah,
I use that, instead of the purse, I put it down as, you know, the escrow money.
Right.
But anyway, yeah, so that changed my life, of that stress and health, and so that was really stressful. So I collaborated with a stranger that I met on Instagram, and I think it was a God thing too, and her name's Tara Joseph out of Nashville, and we created in 2021 Kiss Breast Cancer Goodbye. And we've raised more than $300,000. But the most thing I'm proud about is that we had Dolly Parton as our headliner, and we've had some really great concerts in Nashville.
That's amazing.
It's take care of your health. The older you get, the more. I mean, health is wealth. Yep. None of the money, none of that really matters. I mean, I spent my career on achievement, and like you, it's all about fulfillment now. I only work and take stuff that I genuinely want to do, and then work with, the people like yourself, and look forward to some of the women in the group.
When's your next trip? What's your next bucket list trip item?
Well, I go on a lot of road trips with my mom and sister, so if you,
there you go.
We've had the best time. But I have an Italian trip this summer and going back to Croatia. So if anybody, my family immigrated from Croatia, my grandparents, and that's what gives me the courage. So anytime I think of fear, have someone in your mind. I think of my great-grandma coming over from Croatia, 3 weeks on the ship. And then the fear goes away. So I'm going on those trips. But I want to do the
Camino.
Yeah, that'd be fun. I've seen people do that. Good for you. You're a power rock house, Beth. Thank you.
Pam, thank you so much for coming. And I'm sure a lot of people are going to look forward to your breakout. It's not usual to not put money in a deal. You know, that's my theme. Let's give her a round of applause.